Here today, of course, to discuss transfer. Let's kick off with that one. It's not actually an Arsenal signing, but it's quite a significant signing. And as Lee just mentioned there, Morgan Gibbs White of Nottingham Forest on his way to Spurs. A real surprise, this one, right out of the blue. They've met his £60 million release clause. And the midfielder is set to join Spurs. He's got a medical booked for tomorrow, according to David Ornstein. And as you were just saying, Lee, they've moved really fast on this one. Probably they've had to pay the whole release clause up front. I'm really surprised by this because we're talking about possibly Nottingham Forest's best player. They've already lost Elanga, and now Gibbs White is through the door. I mean, a good signing for Spurs.
And Crystal Palace don't want to lose their good players, do they? Like, you know what I mean? So it just shows you that, you know, the release clause. I do believe, and I'm led to believe, that Eze has a release clause.
68 million. Right. So that's 8 million more than this one. But yeah, he does have a release clause.
And I do believe that Arsenal have been in the Champions League a little bit longer than Tottenham. I don't even think Tottenham have been in the Champions League for the last couple of years, you know. But they're you know, so why are we looking for instalments? You know, like they've obviously, you know, they've met it. Bosh, done.
2 release clauses actually, because they met the release clause as well for Mohamed Kudus, who's it's actually not. Sorry, it wasn't a release clause, but £55 million.
It went below that, like. You know, so listen, you know, that's what you do when you're in the Champions League. You make signings. Well, Arsenal haven't made any.
Well, they did. They made Christian Norgard. They signed today. They signed Zubamendi on Monday. You are forgetting though, they have made a couple of signings.
Oh yeah, they did.
Don't start this, Rob, seriously.
No, but he said they've made no signings. They have.
But
I know, obviously, I get what you're saying.
We signed Zubamendi time ago, really.
But it's still a signing. They signed Zubamendi is a big signing. They've made that signing.
And we made that release course, you know, with statements. With instalments. You know what I mean, like.
Well, what they've done with that release clause is they've paid over the amount, so they didn't have to pay it all up front. So they can spread the payments.
So it's all right going over the odds for a midfield player.
Well,
we won't go over the. We won't have our pants pulled down for a striker that we desperately need. I don't even know Gibbs White wanted to leave.
Nor did I. Nor did anybody. Like, they've met the release clause, and obviously he's I mean, this must be a big blow to Nottingham Forest, as I said, he's one of their main players. So that is a real surprise, but it's getting done. Does that mean, do you think, Turkish, that because really and truly the person that they really wanted was Eze, does that mean to you that do you think to yourself that maybe they're moving away from Eze then? What? Thinking that he's more likely to go to Arsenal than Spurs, and why they've gone and got Morgan Gibbs White?
Maybe, but you know that they are moving fast. You know, in terms of bringing in, because both players that apparently over the last 48 hours they're pretty much sealing. I'll take over the one we look like we're going full force for right now. That's Tottenham. They finished 17th, and so they're bringing in players that I would actually take at Arsenal Football Club, because I don't understand how it's Eze, Morgan Rogers or Madueke, like, you know, the Athletic said recently.
No, but then there
should be Gibbs White in there as well as an option, because you need central players.
Yeah, there's also been reports that even if they get Madueke, they will get Eze as well. The Madueke deal does not affect them.
It's going to affect something.
It might affect something, but they're saying it's not going to affect them. It's going
to affect something that we should be doing better than Madueke. It's probably.
But park the Madueke one for a minute. Eze. You know, do you feel that, you know, they're moving for Morgan Gibbs White means that maybe that's a move now for Eze? They're moving away from that because they think he's going to definitely go to Arsenal. And if so, do you think Eze would be a good signing for Arsenal?
Yeah, I want Eze. Yeah, makes sense really. When you see the release clause and the instalment thing, 20 mil a year for 3 years, that suits us to a T. So that should be one way of getting done early. Get him in. Pre-season's only 10 days away. You know. 10 days, we want our club to have 3 more players in. The likelihood of that is you know, it's not going to happen.
If it had come down to, say, Eze and Morgan Gibbs White, which one out of them two would you have preferred?
I would have gone for Eze. I think he's a better player. Having said that, though, I do rate Gibbs White. And I think I've got to tip my hat to Spurs on this one, funny enough, because they've operated in stealth. No one saw that coming. They operated under the radar. And obviously that works for them because that means that other clubs wouldn't have known what was going on, so they couldn't have tried to gazump the deal. They got their man, and he will definitely improve them. He is a good player. So, and like
It's
you
a
guys
surprising
said,
one for me because it's
Forest,
really...
they got to be careful because Alanga gone, now Gibbs White gone. That's two of their integral players for last season.
And who's their sporting director now?
Edu.
Edu. But it's a surprising one because when I look at what Spurs probably need, I'm surprised that they have decent players in the area, innit? Attacking midfield. With Kulusevski
and Madison.
But they are injury prone, both of those two.
So, I think he's a good player. I don't necessarily think that he's what Arsenal want.
No.
If I'll be really honest, he's sort of like more on the right side when we were looking down the left side. You know, we're looking for Eze, we'll end up with Eze. You know what I mean?
Eze will be a quality signing, and the whole story of getting dropped and coming back and the point to prove, and he's just won something for Palace. It's a nice story that if he could cap off by coming here and then helping us actually win something, you know, just sort that out.